Bonjour, hi, welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to All Around Azure special edition. So in US and Canada and a few other countries today, it's a holiday, but nevertheless, Michael Jolley is with us today. So welcome, Michael. How are you?
I am just peachy. Thanks for having me, Frank.
It's a pleasure to have you. So Michael is a US citizen, very well known on Twitch, builder, developer, streaming for a little bit more than 1 year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Doing all kind of super cool things. He got his daughter, also interviewing the JavaScript heroines.
Yeah.
You did some IoT. You did some development in JavaScript and C#. You did so many projects. I don't know all of the project. You did so many. And recently, you've been nominated MVP, so Most Valuable Professional. So, applause to you. Congratulations. That's pretty
Thank
cool.
you. Yeah. That's one of those. It's been a lifelong thing, so it's really exciting.
Yeah. And what else? What else do you do? Can you give us a little glimpse of what's the life of a superstar like you?
It's best we don't know. It's really there are terms of services that we have to abide by here on Twitch, and no, really, I'm like you said, I'm been a developer for 20 years, been married about 20 years, got 3 kids, and love playing music and developing code. And a lot of times those two intertwine on our stream. We do them both at the same time.
Yeah, it's true.
Much to the chagrin of everyone who watches. Yeah. So, just love hanging out and writing code and learning together and really just having fun.
Cool. Excellent. And today it's a very open kind of it's a very dynamic, organic stream. So if you have any question that pop in your mind, feel free to ask them. You can reach us, of course, inside the Twitch chat at twitch.tv/Microsoft Developer. Or if you're watching it somewhere else, then you can always send a comment and we'll reply eventually. That's politically correct. Yeah.
I think that was perfect. Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit what you had in mind for us today, Mister?
Yeah. So I love Azure Functions, and one of the reasons I like them is they just help me do things that I have to do a lot, but I don't really enjoy doing. It's I think I've heard it mentioned before, lazy people make great developers.
Yep.
Because we find ways to automate and get rid of stuff. And that's one of the things working as a developer advocate at Vonage, I had specifically worked with the video API a lot. Okay. And there's 2 parts to that. There's the part that you think of as far as communication and video, like chat rooms online or like what we're doing here where you're face to face, maybe a Google Meet or a Zoom or something. That's the part that everybody knows and sees and enjoys and wants to experiment with. And how can I do this and that? Well, what's not fun is the back end of that. You have to create that room that you're going to join. When each of you try to join it, you need an authentication token that lets you know that this is Frank joining the meeting versus Michael joining the meeting. None of that stuff is fun to play with. It's just something you got to have every time. And a lot of our documentation talks about how to build that kind of stuff, but gosh darn it, I get tired of building it. So that's the kind of thing that I implement with Azure Functions, just to keep me from having to have a server running somewhere all the time. I just build up a function or 2, leave it in Azure, and then every project I work on from then on, I try to make the functions as generic as possible, so that all of my future projects, I can just use those as the back end and do whatever I want in the front end. We've done a lot of things with the video AI API on the front end. I think you saw one time we used your video in the browser and used facial tracking to know when you're blinking and when your mouth is opening and closing.
I think I saw part of it. Yes, possible.
Yeah. And in the browser, we're using JavaScript to do that, but we were calling out, like when you blinked or your mouth opened, we would send that event out to an Azure function, which would then send the data down to a little particle IoT device that would control an animatronic puppet. So his eyes blinked when your eyes blink, and his mouth opens when your mouth opens. Those just little handshake things I love functions for. But that front end part of it, seeing that, puppet, seeing the monkey dance is the fun part of it. But nobody wants to handle the back end of it. So that's why I love using functions. So we're going to build something today and hopefully even let chat join us on the stream, powered by Azure Functions and a little bit of Vue.js.
Vue.js, excellent. I don't know Vue.js, so I will definitely learn something.
We're going to get really fancy and use Vue.js 3, which is not even released yet.
Oh, yeah?
What could go wrong?
See, I was not sure if you were joking or not. Like, I thought maybe like Vue is version 5.
No. Well, no, Vue 3 is not even out. So, we are living on the edge here today. No representation is made that the quality of this project will, sorry, bad joke about lawyers here in the US.
And that's why then the V on your t-shirt.
No, this is Vonage. This is Vonage. Come on. Throw me a bone here. Come on, no. You gotta rep the home team.
Okay, so you mentioned a few times functions, Azure Function. So I know what Azure Function is because I've been playing a lot with them. But could you explain in a few sentences, in your word, what's Azure Function and what's different about them that make them appealing when you're doing those kind of projects we're talking about?
Yeah, I guess the buzzword is like serverless stuff, right? I want to do stuff serverless, but really, I think the thing that I think when I think about like a function, specifically Azure Functions, is it's just some kind of process I need to run. It doesn't really have state. It just needs to. I need to be able to call it. And there's like an old commercial in the U.S. where like somebody's trying to sell you a toaster, and they the whole commercial is like they put a turkey in the toaster, and then they all chant, "You set it and forget it," and then they take they put in a ham in the toaster, and it's like, "You set it and forget it," because it's just going to handle it. The toaster's going to spit out your ham just right. That's what I think of when I think Azure Functions. It's some bit of code I need to run that I just need to set it and forget it. Like I just need to call it and let it do its thing. Sometimes I want it to send me something back, and that's probably simplistic because I know a lot of people are like, building APIs and everything else with functions, but it all pretty much boils down to that. Whether you're building like this RESTful API with an Azure Functions, you do that GET request on /products. It's still kind of one-off. It doesn't need to know state. It just needs to go get the products and send you back the products. And I don't need to mix in a lot of other stuff. I don't need a node server running all the time or a web app service running all the time to do whatever. I just want to spin something up, do it, and then also, in my case, I leave them up there so that I can use them in the future anytime I want.
Okay. So the beauty of serverless is that you don't need to manage them. So you just like, from a developer point of view, is the paradise because you focus on your piece of code. You create an instance of that serverless, you put your code in, and not even an instance, you just create a definition, and an instance will be spawned when you need it.
Right.
Execute whatever code you have, and then kind of vanish.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of go away. Yeah, you set it, you call it, and forget it.
Yeah, and the beauty of it also in Azure is it's built by the second. So if your execution take 2 seconds, you're built for 2 seconds. And
that's right. Yeah,
you got a few thousands also of free transaction by month. So a lot of time it's a very, very budget friendly. I don't like the word cheap because it have a bad connotation, I feel.
No, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it.
So I say always budget friendly, but like it is cheap. Like it costs close to nothing if you optimize correctly your code. Of course, like in some scenario, it could be expensive depending on how many times you run it, call it, whatever, like how long it runs, depends, right? But for a little project,
be much cheaper than spinning up an instance of some VM or something running constantly.
It could be, definitely. And beauty also of it is it will scale automatically. So if your thing is suddenly called by tons of people at the same time or have a burst of execution, it will just scale by itself and then scale down after that peak. So again,
absolutely.
And automatically. So you don't, like, you can still, as again, like for a developer, because for other people, like they miss the bare bone metals, but for our developer point of view, it is really interesting because you just focus on your code. Excellent. Hey, good afternoon, Julien. Oh, Julien?
I like the way you said that.
Sorry, I will zoom my stream, my chat, because it's tiny. There it is. Juliana. Good afternoon.
You say it so fancy, Frank.
Juliana?
Yeah, it was very, very French of you. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, so and you were talking about like the cost benefits. We did a project on stream a while back called Awesome.io, which is basically like it has a durable Azure function that listens to tweets that have the hashtag awesome spelled AWESUM, and any of those hashtags that come through, it picks those tweets up and sends them to an Azure function that processes them, saves them into, I think it sends into like a FaunaDB. And then basically it's a way for, if someone's done something good for you, you like send them a tweet and be like, hey, at F. Boucher, thanks for all your help. I really appreciate it. You're hashtag awesome. And then that person can go log in to Awesome.io and see all their tweets that have been sent to them telling them they're awesome. So like when they're having a really bad day, they can go there and look and see, hey, today's a bad day, but I really do impact people in a good way,
Yeah. I did try that. I went to your website, but I was having a bad day, and you just pushed me under the ground because nobody would written anything on me. So
I'm so sorry. I'll have to send one after the stream.
I think you were just finishing, and I tested it, and of course the first thing you do is test your own name, and it was empty. Of course, like it was like an hour, maybe it was live or something. I didn't come back, so
that's
so just
funny.
like
that's so funny. Yeah. I'm gonna definitely go put one in though now, so like you don't feel so bad. But the whole thing though is powered by Azure Functions.
When you start talking about that, I was like, oh, should I? And of course I will.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah, because nobody's done it. You won't have anything in there. But what I was gonna say is that whole thing is powered by Azure Functions. And talking about cost benefit, after all of we've had it running for months and months, at least 6 months now. All of the tweets that have come in with hashtag awesome, all of the transactions on the website are, I think the front end of that site is Vue.js, but all it's doing is hitting Azure Functions that call into other databases and send back data. I don't think I've ever paid a penny for that site.
Like you got 10,000 subscriptions. I'm not sure. I'm just opening a parentheses here. Don't take my word for it, but I think you have 10,000 transaction for free by month, depending probably if you got like which tiers or SKU you're using. Yeah. But I think if it's the basic one, the one that a lot of people will use for a demo, I think it's 10,000. Hey, we got a few people joining. Hello, Remly Geek. Nice to see you. The Tian Fanutlier, I don't know. I'm so bad with names. I'm sorry, everyone. Arnold is there. Beldadas. Codwichon. So, Michael Fun. Plenty of people. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. We're just getting started. We'll be building something because, we are with the master builder today.
I was going to say, possibly.
Okay. We'll try to build something. We'll start building something. Is it better this way?
Can we put an asterisk? We're gonna build. That's what I should have. It's bald bearded builder asterisk.
Someone buy the domain name. We'll make a lot of money.
Yeah. Should have registered that first.
So you wanna share your screen and we get started? You wanna kind of So let me switch scenes here. Voila, we're back in our corner.
All right,
in
look
the
at
blue
us.
corner, we have.
They're both
the
blue
V-shirt.
corners, though. It's the problem. The problem, though, Frank, is they're both blue corners.
Yeah.
We need like a red corner and a blue corner, so it's like,
we have more
we
people.
could have,
so like
have a code off.
How do you call the games? Everybody's fighting everybody.
The Hunger Games?
No. The video game.
Will Frank make it out of this stream alive?
It's a brawl fighter. I forgot the. Smash Brother is one of those type of game.
Yeah. It's like Mortal Kombat or something like that. Street Fighter you're talking about.
Well, like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter is 1 against 1, but Smash Bro is like everyone against everyone.
Free for all.
Yeah, and there's a type of that's a type of game. I forgot. Anyway.
Oh, really?
Chat if you know.
Let us know.
Teach us. I forgot what there's a name, but it's not important.
Brawler, maybe?
Something like that.
I'm really curious now. So I guess let me show you what I've got.
Battle Royale.
Well, Battle Royale. Yeah. Something like that?
Yeah, Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is more like Fortnite, though, isn't it?
Well, it's another... Yeah, like it's a first-person Battle Royale, but that's the last one standing, yeah.
Okay.
Let me Google it with Bing or something.
Yeah. Well, you Google that. I'm going to tell everybody where we're at.
Okay, so
I started on this weekend. Yeah, I kind of started on this already. So basically, I'm using an Azure function we want to be able to build a website that can be deployed to Azure for anyone. And you basically have your own video chat, maybe for your family during the coronavirus, the pandemic that's going on. Maybe you want to be able to talk to your family face to face. You could possibly clone this repo, spin it up on Azure, and then tell all your family, hey, go to this URL and join, and we can all chat together, right? And not be tracked by Zoom. Yeah, I said it. So we're going to do it with a little Vue.js 3 in the front end, and we're going to do it with functions in the back end. And then the Vue.js, I've actually got running in a static, what's it called? Static WebApp? Is that what it's called, Frank?
Yep.
The new static.
Yeah, Azure Static WebApp, the new thing.
Yeah, it's still in preview,
yep.
But the cool thing about that is you can have functions inside of it, and that has just
not inside of it, but attached with it.
Yeah, but I mean, interface wise, looks like it's in it, and they're both in the same code repo and everything.
Yep.
So from a developer perspective, you've just got one app that has a static web app and possibly one or more functions. It's all deployed to one static web app, and they may live separately behind the scenes, but Microsoft makes it seem like it's all one fluid thing that works together.
Oh yeah, I honestly, the Azure Static Web App is one of I think it's the most recent. I'm not sure if we call that service or product, but it's a very nice wrap. It's one of the latest they release, and it's a very nice wrap product because they reuse other component and just make it simple to have your domain name in the backend, but using serverless and the storage. And it's all very well packaged. Very nice. And in fact, I was releasing an archive version of this show on All Around Azure, blog.allaroundazure.com, and it was with John Papa, who introduced the static website at Build, and
Oh yeah.
so I was talking about that.
Yeah, I'm loving it because it allows me to keep all my code in one place. And I'll kind of show you how I've got this set up right now.
Yeah,
Let me bring up code
Show
real
it.
quick. So one of the things I'm going all in on development inside of containers. I absolutely love it. So one of the things I did first was I created a development container where I can work on all this inside of this container instead of having like the Azure Function core tools, I think they're called. Instead of having to install those locally on my machine, and instead of having to install the Vue CLI in my machine, and even Node for that matter, I'm going to be doing all this development inside of a container that has all those things installed already.
Oh, cool. So
all I have to do inside there, like I've got this basic Node, I think it's like a normal Node container from the remote development extension for VS Code.
Okay.
And then as part of that, I tell it, hey, here's how you can get the function core tools 3 installed in this container. So every time it creates the container, it goes ahead and sets up Node for me. It has all that ready. It has the core tools already installed. Yeah, container 0 log entry, containerize all the things. Yeah, I'm containerizing all the things. This site doesn't run in a container, but it allows me to build in it without having to install that stuff. So I set that up, and then I've got this API folder and an app folder. Those are the main two things that we're going to use for the static web app. The static web app is going to ask us, as you go through the process of setting one of those up, it's going to ask, like, where is your website's code at? I tell it, it's in my app folder. And then I just happen to know that Vue by default is going to build that into a dist folder. So you can tell it, hey, by the way, the compiled stuff is in the dist folder.
Yeah, I changed it, right? That's what I learned with John Papa, who was talking about all the different JavaScript framework. I'm like not Savin friendly. I'm not very.
They all are like different takes on the same thing, really.
Yeah.
All of them are good. They just, what flavor, we all love ice cream. It's just a matter of whether you like vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry, right?
Yep.
Or I should probably say it's whether you like vanilla or you're wrong. And then the last thing it asks is, do you want to have like an API? Do you have an API folder?
Yeah.
And in this case, I told it yes, and there it is. But inside that API folder, it's just a function app, which is fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Belda is Team Vanilla.
I'm more Team Pistachio.
Get out. And the
Well,
moderators,
I like ice cream.
Frank.
I like all flavor of ice cream. But yesterday, my wife asked me, "Okay, bring back 2 ice cream because we're like doing a crazy dessert for a dinner with friends." So I said, "Okay," and she told me like your favorite and like something chocolate. I'm assuming she was expecting not pistachio.
No.
She kind of forgot. I was like, "Did you buy that seriously?" I was like, "Yeah, it's good. I like that."
You're the only one that ate it, aren't you?
No, I'm sure.
Everybody else eats chocolate. Yeah. So I try not to eat ice cream because it's so terrible for you. But I do remember going to get some ice cream one day at the store, and I came home, and I had bought like a pint of it, and my wife was like,
caramel,
you really should have like just bought you one of those little single serve containers. And then I looked at my pint and I'm like, I did. And as I spooned it out, yeah, I did. This is single serve. It'll get done.
Yeah, we'll get
Salt
done.
and caramel. See, that's not my type of ice cream. That's my wife's type of ice cream.
Well, no, I like salt. I think I like all of them. I like, even vanilla. It's very good too. It's just, I like changing. Not all the time.
I don't even know you anymore. Yeah, it is. The pint is a serving. It's my serving. That's exactly right, Sean. So yeah, in that API folder is where I'm keeping my Azure Functions, and in the app folder is where I'm going to keep the Vue.js site.
Okay.
And then when you set up the static web apps, it connects to your repo and adds a GitHub action that will, anytime you push to master, will automatically deploy that app to Azure for you, along with the Azure function that's in it. It'll handle the build and all that kind of stuff just as you push or merge PRs. So in this case, one of the things I wanted to do was create a front end that allows us, and possibly some chat today, to go to it and choose a room name and enter our name. You hit enter, it's going to call off to an Azure function that says, hey, here is a room and the person's name. We need both like a session, like a video session sent back to us, and a token for that person. Which is, hopefully that's straightforward enough. But the catch I found initially was, well, wait, if I just call the function, which is stateless, right? And say, my name is Michael, I want to join room Microsoft developer. I send those up, it's going to generate a session, and it's going to generate a token for me to join that session. But then if you went to that website and said, hey, I want to join the room Microsoft developer, and my name is Frank, if you call that function, because it's stateless, it's going to create a brand new session for the name Microsoft developer and give you a token for it. So even though we named it the same, our session IDs are going to be different. Because it's stateless. So I needed to add a little bit of state to my functions. So I also used Cosmos DB for that. I thought that's the easiest way for me to throw some kind of quick NoSQL document somewhere to store what I've already done in the past.
Okay. Okay, so because you did it in the past, because Cosmo is overkill for what you're trying to do right now.
Sure it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's like, and it's totally fine, right? That's the beauty of Azure also, I think, because it's like when you're playing Legos. I was playing Legos or blocks. Let's not put any brand here. You know, bricks, games, kind of thing.
Lincoln Logs,
with my brother when I was young, and building bases or castle or whatever you want to call that. And of course, we had like bunch of pieces in front of us, and at the end, both of us had a very different look and, you know, construction, because you pick whatever you feel you need or like or whatever. And like, you know, I was the one who matched the color and stuff, and he was just picking anything.
Yeah. So it is the primary reason, honestly, that I used it is because Cosmos now has that free tier.
Yeah, it's true.
That I will never hit using this application. So basically, all I want to do is when a request comes in, like from me, to say I want room Microsoft developer and my name is Michael, then I want that function, and I'll show it to you. It's called video get here. And it basically, can you see this code okay?
Yeah. Like I can see it. So if anyone find that it's too small, let us know in the chat. But yeah, usually if I can read it, it's big enough, because I'm one of those guys who always feels tiny. But now that's good. So yes, Bell that asks, there's a free tier now on CosmoDB for a few months now. I think it was at the beginning of the year they released a free tier. I tend to not use it a lot. They ask us to use less this resources internally, to leave it to more other external people. But I said, it's overkill. Yes and no. If you are really building something to go live, CosmoDB make way more sense. If it's just to play, storage could be good enough. Like if it's just like 1 or 2, 3 session or things like that. But if you want to go with scale, Cosmo is definitely the best one.
Let's think about that. You're talking about using storage. What would you do? Like save some kind of JSON file storage or something and read in and out of it?
It could be in storage. You have the blob storage where you could drop a file if you want, or you could be using the tables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a unstructured or structured, no SQL, and you use that like that.
Yeah. So I use it just for like because I'm used to like the NoSQL storage. I'm either using normally Cosmos or Fauna. In this case, since I wanted this all in one, what I'd like to do eventually is figure out the layout for all of this. The layout's the wrong word, but build like an ARM template that would build it all out for me.
Yep.
So bringing in like a third party like Fauna or something doesn't really work for that. But if I could just spin up and it spins up my Cosmos free tier, it spins up my static app and all that, and kind of is there together. Possibly have like a key vault that keeps all my secrets. That's one reason I went with it. But it's pretty quick and easy too. So I just created a Cosmos client, and coming in on that request, it sends in the room name that I specified and my name. And it goes and looks up in Cosmos and says, do I have a session with that room name? If so, just use the session ID for it. Don't recreate it.
Okay.
And then same thing with the token. It says, hey, if I already created a token for that session and that person, if so, just send back that token. Otherwise, create it. And then it finally just sends back an API key, the session, and the token for that person. And it does some other calls like out to the Vonage Video API to create those session IDs and create tokens if we need them. But in the instance of this function, all it knows is I received these 2 bits of information. I'm going to see if they exist or not. And if so, send it back. Otherwise, I'll call the appropriate place to get them. And then if I have to get them, I'll save them into the database, after I've gotten them, so that I don't get them again. And that enables me to run any kind of video front end from the Vonage API without having to worry about the back end. Just this one function. Because now I can just pass in, hey, I need a session. It's for this room and this person. And then no matter what I'm working on, whether it's doing the IoT stuff with that puppet, whether it's, trying to play around with filters and maybe masks like Snapchat filters and stuff like that, the back end is kind of irrelevant at this point, because I can just tell my front end, hey, hit that Azure function and get the token and session you need. It's like we were talking about originally. It's like that set it and forget it. I can set this up there and never worry about that part of my applications again. And like you said, it scales. So like if that was to get used a lot, if I was to build some kind of video front end that was using it, well, it can scale with that, right? So like as more chat rooms are getting created and more people are joining, Azure handles that without me having to think about it.
Yeah, because it's one thing to create a proof of concept or a demo or something, but like even if just one company is using it, like having multiple people, 2-3 people in every room, like you want something to scale. You don't want to have any latency, because then people will complain.
Yeah, exactly. And this is all open source and free. So the last thing I want is a bunch of complaints, because it's not like I'm getting paid to maintain this and don't want to maintain it. I just want to set it and forget it. It seems to be the theme of the show today. So with that function is going to get deployed into my static
Geek is having trouble with the Twitch mobile app.
Well, that's because the Twitch mobile app is garbage.
I don't use it very often.
It's terrible. I mean, you cannot. I mean, like if you view on the web, you get a latency. Depending on where you are in the world, you're going to get latency. But with the mobile app, I mean, I could be in the next room with the mobile app, and I'm still going to have like wild latency of possibly 30 seconds to a minute.
Really?
Which is maddening when you're trying to chat with people.
Yeah, I use it from time to time when I'm in the living room, and then like we'll push a stream like with what's called cast, whatever, like you're projecting to the screen. So I have like that, and then if I want to type, but then like it's only my finger, so it's very sad to chat though, but it's possible. Yeah. So I didn't use it a lot, but I didn't notice the lag or anything.
Yeah, it's bad. Like right about now, Rambling Geek's hearing us reply to his chat message probably.
I'm I'm just introducing introducing you to the chat.
Yeah, and he'll hear that in a minute. So then I'm just creating a really simple Vue.js app. I use the Vue CLI to do it.
The Vue what? Sorry.
The Vue CLI.
Okay.
So
CLI,
they've got a CLI that you can do like Vue create, my app, and it sets all that kind of stuff up before. So, or not before, it just sets it all up for you, right? It just does all the scaffolding, kind of like the function one, same deal.
It's helpful for scaffolding stuff and going faster.
Yes, yeah, I love it for that kind of stuff. And really, the only thing in there is I've got a video service that has a get room method that takes a name and a room name, and it's calling API video because this function is Microsoft is setting this up as if the function is just part of my application, so that /API/video is treated like a route, but it's actually sending it to that Azure function that's included in my static web app, which is really nice because then I don't have to worry about cores, which is, the devil. Anybody who's like called APIs and gone back and forth has dealt with cores in the past, and the only thing that we all agree on with cores is it's terrible. That it was created to frustrate us. I know there's good behind it, but it doesn't mean I don't hate it any less.
I won't say a thing. I could share that I also suffered because of them.
We all suffer, Frank. We should band together. No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
they are useful, I'm assuming, right?
No. Well, I guess it's security. For security, yes. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it to exist. But it's okay for me to hate it nonetheless, right?
Yeah, but that brings us at what I was saying at the beginning, that I really feel like this static web app application in Azure is a very well wrapped product or service, whatever you want to call that. And it's still just in preview, so it will, will get better, but they made it very nice.
Yeah, I can tell you, I haven't tried to use a static web app until Saturday.
Yep.
And of everything I've done on this project, that was the easiest. It was really simple to get up and running and just be, have my repo feeding into it. There are a few steps you need to do in a certain order that I didn't. But 'cause I don't know if all developers are like this, but I'm that kind of developer that says, oh, cool, new product. Let me just go bang and build with it. And then when whatever I bang and built doesn't work, then I go look at the documentation.
I think it's always good to do it like that a little bit. And often also in the doc, if they say, don't do that, I will do that just to see what happens. Yeah. I learned a lot in photography doing that. Exactly. Don't open the light. What happened?
You're such a rebel, Frank.
Damn, I've just lost tons of papers.
Such a rebel. Such a rebel.
Well, it's that's how I discover a bunch of very special effect though in photography.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I'm running this Vue app on localhost 8080.
Yeah.
I've got my function running, and technically my function is running on 7071. That's the way they do it, like when you're debugging a static web app. But I added a little bit of Vue magic over here that says, hey, treat that API route as if it was just going to go over there. We're going to proxy it over to that other port.
Okay.
So in my app, I'm calling /API/video or session or whatever I'm calling, and it's just going to send it to this other service, the function. In the real world, once it's deployed, I don't have to do this. So let's take a gander at what's running at localhost 8080. I can tell you that this does not work. So we're going to have to do a little.
You're local right now?
It's because I haven't finished it.
Oh.
So we're going to have to do a little bit of debugging here let chat join us. But to give you a basic like run through of the app, comes up, you ready to connect? Hey, that's great. We're glad you're here. Fill out the information below. Hit join room. I'm going to leave the network tab. I'm going to clear out the network tab. So I want you to see what's going on behind the scenes a little bit. So I'm going to say room name is Frank's room. My name is Michael. Join room. And you'll see there down below, I had a call to /video. If we look at it, it was a call to API video. And that was, it got that room name, it got my name, and sent that to the Azure function that's running locally. And went ahead and created my session ID if it didn't exist, my token, everything. Either it created it or it got it out of Cosmos. But it sent it back to me so that now my front end can join that session and pass credentials along to get me in there. And you can see like a little payload of what it sent back, just the API key, the session, and the token. And then we get all this. And this is kind of where we are. You'll notice like it's got this little video player of me. Right now, we are not publishing. We need to get that fixed.
So, are you using a different camera, or you're able to use the same camera? Because right now you are broadcasting your camera. So like, you know, from time to time when you're using like multiple application, like the app say, oh, the camera is used.
Yeah. So one example of that would be like Google Chrome. Chrome, when it tries to use your camera, it like locks your camera. And says, you know, only I am using this thing, you know, how dare anyone even try? But I don't use Chrome. I use, I call it Edgeium, but it's basically, you know, the new Edge running on Chromium.
Yep, it's wonderful.
It does not grab exclusive access to the camera. So technically, you know, we're connected via Skype and my feed is going out of Skype, but the raw camera, and technically, I think what's making it easier is what you're getting in Skype is actually coming from my raw camera piped through OBS. So you're connected to my OBS camera.
Okay, so that's probably why it's working, though.
Yeah, and it is connected to, it would work regardless in Edgeium. It wouldn't in Chrome. If I try to do this in Chrome, it'll blow up and say, hey, you need to quit streaming with Frank and do some real work.
Okay, because I know when I'm using different even application, not Chrome, like the app is not working. So I have, it happens that I have two web or camera, let's put it that way, one webcam and one camera. So I could use two feed, but I know sometime, like I'm connecting from Team and the same camera was on Twitch and like I cannot use the same one or whatever. I was just curious if by code you have some kind of a workaround, or it's just
no. And I'm not a hardware guy, right? But my understanding is it's a difference of how it's grabbing the camera. Is it locked or not? Okay. Certain apps will lock it. OBS seems to not lock it. So I don't know why they would choose to do differently. I'm sure there are reasons, but just looking through this,
definitely reasons to lock it or not lock it, but that's cool. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Just the fastest run through of this Vue apps architecture that I can give is basically it spins up an app component that has navigation at the top and has a router area. And we have a home component that renders on that home page that has, you know, the code of conduct, enter your room name and text, submit button. That submit button is submitting an action on our Vuex store, which is like a Redux store. And that action is saying, call that service, that API that function, get the data back, and then once I get it back, I route the user to the room component. That room component then says, hey, you've got a publisher area, and then you've got this collection of streams. And then for each of those streams, I want you to render one of these subscriber components. So if we look at this page that's not really doing anything, this square with my video is the publisher. That's my video that I'm hoping to publish into the stream. If anyone else was to join and publish, their videos would pop up beside me and start wrapping around the screen. The problem we're having right here, all the red console of death, is because we're not publishing. The object we're telling it to publish isn't there. So we got to debug that really quick. How fast can we do it? I don't know.
It all depends on the chat.
Yeah, chat, if you give me all the answers, this is going to be a lot easier. I'm just telling you. I thought, you know what? How exciting would it be to be on a stream with Frank on the Microsoft Developer Channel and use static web apps, which I've never touched before, to use Vue.js 3, which I've had like, I don't know, a couple days experience with.
Yeah, so you
I have played with customers. I plan very well. I thought, let's live on the edge. I'm here for the excitement. I'm not here for the prepackaged
for the fun
demo that works. Yeah. If you want to watch a demo that works, that's what YouTube's for. This is real life.
Real life.
Yeah. So on mounted, we're trying to initialize that publisher, and this is where we're going wrong. We need to be able to pass something in here. Vue.js 3 is not out yet. It's technically, you can use the CLI. It's in beta, I guess. I think they've even got like a release candidate maybe by now. But the CLI actually has it built in, and that's how I set it up. So we need to, what we're doing is, in this room we have this publisher.
Could it be just because you're using version 3?
No, the issue is, how do I grab an object?
Okay.
For instance, I've got this publisher component here that I'm registering, and I'm saying if the session exists, pass that session in as a property, and then inside that publisher, I say, hey, I get a session as a publisher or as a property, and then when I'm mounted, I need to initialize my publisher, which is going to connect to my camera and send it up to the session. This first parameter here is normally something that looks like that. You're probably used to that from like jQuery, jQuery land, where you're sending in like selectors, right? So in that case, it's looking for something with an ID of that. But it will take elements. So I wanted to do like this $L, which is supposed to be a reference to my element, but I'm not sure that it is. We can try it. That should automatically rebuild. I'm not sure that it did. Let's make sure it does.
Lovely JavaScript.
Do you stick to C#, Frank?
Well, I start playing with JavaScript, but on Fridays I'm building a chatbot using InstaFluff.
Comfy.js.
Yes. So and then now Node and building some stuff in it, but I'm missing the strongly type component. And I don't want to go right away into TypeScript, though I think I will fall back to that eventually kind of soon, because I wanted to understand a bit more Node before.
Yeah, JavaScript.
Yeah.
I think that's beneficial. I love TypeScript. Absolutely love it. But part of the reason is I spent, close to 20 years writing C#.
Well, same
and
for me.
It's so similar. Yeah, it's so similar. It makes it really easy. But you're, like you said, a lot of times you're like so stuck in TypeScript land that you don't realize, hey, this is just JavaScript. I could do this this way without it. If I'm building like an application that's larger, I use TypeScript. It just makes me feel more comfortable to have that type safety there, to catch errors at compile time rather than runtime.
Yeah.
If I'm building something really fast and setting up all the, TypeScript config and the compilers and all that, it seems like, oh, geez, it's like I mentioned to you before the stream, probably 30 to 40% of the debugging I've done on this project has been fighting with ESLint and Prettier. Like, you need a comma at the end. You need a space between that. That arrow, that fat arrow should have like no return after it. It should be on the same line. And I'm like, I sometimes I think I want to find this person who made ESLint and just, in the most loving way possible, give them a throat punch. Because while I appreciate it, that's why it's loving. I appreciate that it keeps my code pretty and all that kind of stuff. But also I hate them a little.
I don't use those extensions. Maybe I should to fill the...
Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's... Yeah, the truth is, if you're running a site in JavaScript or TypeScript and you didn't cry a little, did you really write a site in JavaScript or TypeScript?
Yeah, that's a way to see it, definitely.
Listen, if you want to do things halfway, you do things halfway, but
yeah.
If you don't secretly resent the person who created ESLint when you got done with your project, did you even build it?
So you did the classic console.
Yeah, the console. I call it the console derp, the DIR. The reason is, console log. Everybody uses console log. Console derp writes objects a little prettier for me. But I call it derp instead of dir or directory or whatever, because if you are writing that line of code in your application, it's probably because you've done something wrong. And I mean, you don't console dir or console log just for the fun of it. You're trying to fix something you did that was dumb. So that's why I call it console derp, because usually it helps me find out the derpy thing I did building that application.
Console dope.
Derp, D-E-R-P.
Yeah, I was
derp.
just making a new one.
Oh, yeah. You're just a trendsetter. A trendsetter. Oh, dough. Yeah, dough. Yeah. Like Homer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Dope.
Takes me a minute.
And it should come with a sound at the same time.
Oh, yeah. It's funny you say that. I used to have a terminal command in Windows Terminal. I used PowerShell Core, or I guess it's PowerShell 7 now. I used to have a command that whenever I did a git push, I didn't just say git push. I would send, it was like B3P. And B3P would do a git push, but it would also play a sound clip of Salt and Pepper's Push It. So like, it would get pushed, but then it would also say, push it real good. That was just appropriate. So you could do that. Anytime your code says console dir, like dough.
Dope. Yeah.
Dope.
Well, just back in the days when you're doing alerts in JavaScript, and it was like, ding, and you're in the for loop, and it's like, ding,
oh yeah,
ding, ding.
That's so funny.
I did a little bit of JavaScript, but just 15 years ago or something like that.
15 years. Oh, so it's changed a little bit.
Yeah, back in the day, JavaScript was kind of getting pretty cool. 15, 20 years, I don't know. Like, my daughter was very young, and now she's an adult, so.
Oh wow. So I'm trying to figure out what this error is. It seems like it's getting the right element here. And it seems like it's publishing. I actually have some sample code too. Let me go look at it. That's exactly what we're doing. This L. Is that what I'm doing? know if that makes any difference. Set up like this. No, it doesn't. I don't think it likes that. Unnamed method mounted. Did I do that right? I gotta type that wrong. Oh, that's exactly what I typed. Doesn't look right. This may be a difference in view 2 and 3 here. Save that.
I know in my code I do like I would wrote mount equal function and blah blah blah, but that's kind of
yeah. And I think one or two of these errors are, yeah, they were.
You're not too late, Merdicus, MC Nerdius. McNerdius. Just in time, perfect to solve that issue. We're waiting for you. So what's the answer?
Yeah. Glad you're here. Let me go back and try it again. Frank's room.
Could it be cached? No. You're calling an API, right?
Yeah. So I'm getting the connection. It's joining the session, and it's capturing my camera because you can see it in the browser there.
Yeah.
And what it's trying to do is publish that stream up to the oh, son of a gun.
Because it's
hold on 1 second.
What did you see?
I just thought of a connection thing that I may have hard coded and shouldn't have.
Yep.
That's right. Let's go back out here and stop my function. Start it back up.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, you don't hear my sound effects. It's true.
No, I don't. Do you have sound effects?
Well, I just play I have bad feeling about that. When
oh, I have a bad feeling about this?
Yeah.
Like the Han Solo thing?
Yep.
Well, I feel like that just is so appropriate for my code. I have a bad feeling about this. Let's give that a go. No, it's still gonna throw up. Doesn't like it. Failed to create a peer connection.
Could it be a medium? Like when I tried to play video in JavaScript, when I was messing around with my JavaScript, I was having issue because I needed to interact with the
stream.
Yes, I was trying to play a video, so MP4 in my case, and it was starting on pause. I needed some like mouse interaction to make it work.
Yeah, I think I've already got that because I typed. I'll type the right thing in another browser. I was already entering the name and stuff, right?
Yeah, but you didn't interact with the media piece of it.
Oh, you just got it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it. I'm gonna close out of everything. What could go wrong? Oh, it's not working right now, so.
Hello, Exet46. Exit.
And while that's going, I'm going to come in here. Go ahead and try that. Yeah, it's the same error.
Oh yeah, connection. We are doing it live.
Yeah, that's how we roll around here, Exy. I'm going to do some copy paste and just try one thing real quick and make sure that I'm not losing my mind here.
We're live on Twitch and we are also live on Microsoft Learn TV, everybody.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And eventually we'll even be on YouTube on the Microsoft developer channel.
So if you're watching this over there, we apologize in advance for what you're about to see.
Unfortunately, right now there is no chat on the Microsoft Learn TV. It's coming.
Huh?
It's in the plan. Short term, I would say. But though I'm not in the secrets, the God secrets, but they're working on that. That's for sure. But right now, they just can't watch.
I'm gonna make sure this is working in general. I'm gonna get out of this. I need to stop that.
So, did you find the learning curve when you start working with the containers for your developer environment? Did you feel the learning curve was big?
No, it was really easy actually, because of the way they set up the experience. When you say, say you're building you can use C# in it, right? Whatever kind of app you got, you say, I want to open this in a container. It says, What kind of container? And then it takes you through this long list of, do you want to do Rust? Do you want to do C#? Do you want to do TypeScript? Do you want to do Node with TypeScript? Do you want to do Java? What kind of Java? Do you want to do Python? 2, 3? What? There's like this crazy long list of pre-built environments you can use. So I started just using those. Like I say, give me like a Node 10 or Node 12 environment to do my JavaScript in. Is it run start? I'm not sure what there's not. What is it called? Serve. npm run serve.
Oh, it was the extension who did all that thing for you?
Yeah. So it would set it all up for me. And then I was just working in that container. I could npm install whatever packages I need, write my code, whatever, It was fascinating. And then once you do it for a little while, you start realizing, wait, this really is just a Docker file. So I can do whatever I want. So that's when, there is no dev container already pre-built for Azure Static WebApps, but there are containers built for Azure Functions, and there are containers built for Node, which I would want for like a Vue app.
And what's the extension? Just the extension that asks you a bunch of
remote containers, I think.
Okay.
There's like a pack of them. It's like remote development.
Yeah.
Which has like remote SSH, remote WSL, and remote containers. I just use remote containers.
Okay. Cool. I will have a look. I know I did connect remotely to containers in the past, but maybe without. And that's the thing. Like I've been wanted to do the. Oh. Oh, I have. Let me go digging back to my sound effects and run the fabulous.
Fantastic! Oh, fantastic!
Fantastic from Doctor Who. Oh, way too many builder over there. It's working. Actually, yeah, I should have something like that, right? I type localhost on my side, but I cannot join.
What? Meet all those. So basically, we've got bald bearded builder, bald bearded builder, bald bearded builder. I can't do it. I was gonna try and see if I could get through 4 versions of it.
Anybody who say that 4 times wins
4 times.
a car.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Azure, Microsoft Developer Channel is getting legit. You win cars, like Oprah. Frank is the Oprah of Twitch.
Yeah, right.
We all want to do Cold Fusion. I don't know why they
will
offer
send
the
you
others.
a hair container.
Okay, so this is a sample app I have for the video application, in which case I don't get
Yeah, it's funny. Also, Harold just no, not Harold. One is mirrored, or all of them are mirrored. The first one was different.
Which one is right? I was about to wave my hand and say this one's the one that's the publisher, but then I forgot.
Well, like if I look from my point of view, you are on the same side for the three last. Like if I look like the image I see from like the stream,
yes,
and the three last are in the same side. The other one is mirror.
That's correct. The first one going left to right up there is the video that I'm publishing. The other three are other people in the chat who just the others are, I just realized I could talk to myself. The others are other people who are subscribed, are publishing. I'm receiving them correctly, but I'm viewing myself mirrored. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So the box to the left is what I'm publishing out. I speak with my hands, and this has ruined the whole experience for me. High five! We nailed it!
Yay! Oh, give me a sec. I need to screenshot that. Awesome.
This is quality content. Dealing with this will make you want to go back to Cold Fusion. So yeah, the first one is mirrored because it's you sending out, whereas the others are coming to you, coming in, like being published to you, right? So this is just like that basic sample app that has. This is not what we're using a function with right now. I'm actually hard coding some stuff in there, but there's clearly something different that I have done between this because they all have the same three Vue components that I do. Let me find it. Where's it at? Come here, JavaScript. Come here, components. Let's go look and see what I'm doing different.
Just to let you know, in time we have just over 15 minutes left.
15 minutes? This is a rush. Frank.
You know, if we're not done, I will need to invite you again.
Well, just, before I get into it, let me just tell you, Azure Functions are great. You should totally check them out. There's a great free tier available with them. I use them for things like this to just automate something in the background. I'll tell you, the thing that's failing here is our Vue.js front end. It's not our Azure Function. That's sending inspector credentials like a champ. This is Michael being an idiot thinking, hey, let's use Vue 3, which is still in beta, live on stream to demonstrate this because I'm an animal. But honestly, the functions are pretty awesome. I use them all the time for not just my projects, but things I want to do. Matter of fact, Frank, it just dawned on me on my channel, all the chat commands, like I think you probably have chat commands in this channel, right? If you did, it would have been amazing for this scenario. but anytime you send a command in my channel's chat, like maybe you send exclamation GitHub to get, what my GitHub account is, or exclamation uptime to see how long we've been streaming. When you send that command, my chat bot, like yours, is using, I don't think it's using Comfy, but it's the new one is, it's listening to Twitch chat, and it says, hey, you sent an exclamation some word. That's what we kind of consider a command. So is that a valid command? And one of the first things it does is I've got a functions app running in Azure that one of the functions, basically when I call it, it looks inside of its own app service and says, give me all of the functions that I'm serving, and sends those back with, it's like key value pairs of exclamation, the command, and then the URL of the function itself. So when you send exclamation GitHub in my chat, it says, hey, yeah, that's an Azure function called GitHub. So it actually is calling an Azure function to write the messages back in chat. It's all Azure function based. And that's another thing. All the times we've streamed, all the commands that get called during a stream, I don't think I've ever paid for that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, this channel is used by many different hosts, so that's what I'm assuming.
So it changes up.
Yeah.
It kind of changes up.
If people are interested, here I will put in the chat. Like that's a nice quick start tutorial if you want to get started. Building your first Azure function. It guides you, take you by the end, explain how to do everything from Visual Studio. So exactly what Michael is using here. Visual Studio is a text editor that is free, open source, awesome tool if you do any kind of languages. I use it all the time now.
Yeah, it's become my default. Unless I'm working with C#. C# still feels better in Visual Studio.
If you're using, if you're building like a big solution with multiple projects and stuff like that, Visual Studio, the big one, IDE, is still the best one because you got all the bells and whistles and everything. Like the experience is much. But if you're doing a simple project, Visual Studio Code is pretty cool. Like I like it very much. I know my URL shortener is all in C#. The Azure Function are in C#. The website now I'm using it in with Blazor WebAssembly, and it's I'm all C# and I'm doing it all in Visual Studio Code. And soon it will be also deployed in a static WebApp.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I just need to write the piece of code to deploy automatically everything, so people don't need to understand what's happening.
I prefer
GitHub.
not to know what's happening.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Some kind of magic. I want to one-click deploy, but there's a lot of different component and security involved and stuff. So, but I think I found a solution. So I think I got it. But yeah.
Yeah, this is all that dirty linting.
Maybe this week I will be working on that. Stay tuned for more.
Okay, that's running now. That's
so it start working, but you don't know what you did to fix it.
So the one that had the videos in there, that was just another sample app. That was just you provided the session, you provided the token, you provided everything. You don't call out to get it generated. It's just test the basic functionality. So everything's working with that. But it was written in Vue. So I know that if it's working connecting, I'm just copying and pasting the code over here. So the fact that it's not doing it over here is something that Michael has derped on. If I look, it's failing with this init publisher here, passing in this L. I'm passing in this L over here the same way. Why the heck is that not kosher? That makes me think it's a Vue 3 thing, like Vue.js. As if like that L property has changed between 2 and 3. Do L. After it is mounted, it's available via that. Okay, let's go look at version 3 of this. Row Raggy. The Vue 3 documentation says, I don't even want to talk about it. L. In this case, it's saying L is passed in to mount it. Okay, so maybe that's where I'm messing up, and I don't think it is, but I'll say it is. Give it one last go.
Yeah, you cannot paste links inside this chat, MC Nerdius.
There is a difference, I think. Frank's room. What did I say Frankie for? I didn't type Frankie's. You know what it is? It's because it's Monday. I'm expecting a Frankie's notes.
I did publish it.
I just haven't looked. I haven't looked yet.
I didn't last week because vacation. I forced myself to not read any technical stuff for a week.
What? Wait. Can we talk more about this vacation thing? What is this?
Well, it's a thing where you're not supposed to be working, but I was working. But I don't want to talk too much about it because my colleague will feel guilty.
That's funny.
You know, had some presentation to be recorded, and spent a few days working on that.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it, Frank. Darn it. But we did see our Azure function in action. It's still working like a champ, sending us our payload back.
So that's the longest tease you ever see, people. Mike will be doing that next Monday on another Twitch channel. So that was like a super tease.
Oh, we've got even more to do with it. So I got to get this part. This is supposed to be the easy. You know what? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna flip the script a little bit and set it back to Vue 2 to get around this change that they've made.
Yeah. Well, you still have like 8 minutes if you want to try it.
You think I can do that? You think I can do it that fast?
Let me check if anybody's streaming after, if we can bust just a little bit. I don't like to go overtime too much.
Yeah.
But like if you're watching it on Learn TV, you will definitely lose the feed. But on Twitch, if nobody is streaming after, maybe I can stay a little bit longer, but not too much, but just, you know, a little.
Let's see how fast we can.
Because, yeah, I don't want to be in trouble with the Twitch gods. I think I'm fine.
I think it's cool that you know the Twitch gods. That's pretty impressive.
Well, like the manager of this channel is
He's a slave driver. I know him. He's
very difficult.
total jerk. Total jerk. I don't know how you put up with him. You're a saint. That's all I can say, Frank. You're a saint.
Just so people don't know, if people don't know, I'm not sure if it's loud and public who's managing, but both of us know the person who's managed this channel, and we both love him, so that's why.
I thought you were going to say we both hate him, and I was going to be like, I was going to back you up the whole time. Like, yeah, we do. He's a total troll. What a jerk. But that's true. Yeah, he's a great guy. I do love him. I can't even pretend.
Hey, Brett. Welcome aboard.
Brett Miller.
Yeah, Brett Miller IT is here.
I'm going to open it up just to delete out the node modules. Now, when I switch this back, I know it's going to throw up at me and say, hey, some of the stuff you're doing, that's new view. Oh, yeah, this is new view. You got to do it old view way. Let me see if I can, if we can do that.
I should change my songs now, that my music I'm playing for the Mission Impossible teams.
Are you playing that right now?
Oh, like very subtle. Like you won't hear it. It's just the stream people will hear it, and a little bit me. It's just to fill the silence.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a lo-fi music. I'm always worried that it's too loud.
Router.
But I still don't want to wear a headset when I'm streaming, so. Yep.
Let's go npm install. All right. Cheap.
Oh yeah, they shine on him.
That's probably a comment about my bald head.
Oh,
That Brett Miller. And Brett Miller's probably, he's probably getting like a little bit of shine off the head. Troll move, Brett. Troll move.
We all need one of those on our stream, right?
I've got too many, Frank. I've got too many. They're all trolls.
Would I?
Okay. So this should not work. I know I've got like some Vue 3 specific code in there. But at least hopefully tell me what I've got wrong. Failed to load Vue Airbnb. Okay, that's a linting thing. I hate linting. Dirty dog. What was it barking at? Vue Airbnb. Oh, son of a gun. I don't even want linting at this point. Really, I don't.
What? MC Nerd just says there's a background music generator thing I use, and it's relax channel consistently left a faucet running. Thinking, oh yeah, so it's like wave sounds or something like that.
I love wave sounds.
Or for some people, it it's not relaxing. It just you want to run to the bathroom. Any water sounds?
Waves? Yeah. I'm kind of preferential towards what was I going to say? Do you remember, Frank? Oh no, thunderstorms. I love to like turn the Alexa on before bed and say, play Alexa, play thunderstorms. There are people out there right now that are going, what the heck? Yeah, I love to do that before bed. It'll play like for an hour while I go to sleep. I just really mess some people up.
Yeah, no, because the dog will turn crazy, so I wouldn't appreciate that.
Oh, with thunderstorms?
Yeah.
Last week on stream, I said something like, Alexa, order 500 toothpicks or something, and like it started like going into like people had started posting their shopping cart. Like she started saying, I don't think it did. Like that was too many. It's like I can only order up to 12 things. Like only I could hook up Alexa to buy things that I sell, or would I get like a kickback?
Yeah, I think you tweet that, right? Was the Kendall thing?
Yeah. Yes. Well, somebody else like mentioned, like I think I said like that word, buy a fart candle, and the person shared on Twitter like a screenshot of their Amazon shopping cart where Alexa had actually added that to their shopping cart, which makes me so happy. Let's see. Why?
Oh yeah, you did it. It didn't work. MC Nerdius was trying to mess around with Clarkio's Alexa.
Oh yeah. Well, the problem with Clarkio's is he keeps his all the audio, the text to speech, and all that is on his headphones, so Alexa can't hear it.
It doesn't look like it, but he's smart.
What are you talking about, Frank? How would you ever? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this done in our 8 minutes are probably up at this point.
Yeah, they are. We're just at 3:30 right now. Like my time, we're at the half the hour right now. Did you add that in a repo? So will you be able to just roll back one version?
Why would I do that?
Like if you really want to do it in Vue 3.
Yeah. So this is not committed. So the version up in GitHub right now is Vue 3.
Okay.
And I'll probably go ahead and
battle again a little bit.
Check that out. Yeah.
I'm that type of guy too.
Yeah, it's just it.
It will fit.
Yeah, it will. Well, it will. That's one of those. That is one of the things that, like, when you're. It was really kind of not the smartest idea for me to use Vue 3. But that's one of those things. Like, with it being a new framework, there are subtle changes into what, like, certain things are.
It could have been working, and I will be, and it would be like, wow, Vue 3 is wonderful.
Yeah, it actually is. I've really enjoyed it, but I don't normally get elements out of the DOM with it very often. And apparently it's a little different in Vue 3 than 2, but I'm going to figure that out off stream, I'm sure. I'm sure I won't be able to, this is technically Labor Day. I'm supposed to be on vacation. I probably am going to be stuck in here. I can't let this go today. It won't defeat me.
Won't defeat me. So you wanna stop there then, and we'll
I call it.
in your
I call
GitHub?
it. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Let me.
That's cool. So let's go side by side again.
Darn it.
Darn it. We had the glimpse where it was working in the other version, the hard-coded version.
That's true. Yeah. And, honestly, I blame Brett Miller. I think we could have had it done had he not shown up to the stream today. It's not his fault.
I think he, what's the word for that? Was a malediction? What's the word for that? Not that curse. It was a curse for you?
Yeah. Brett says he tuned in just as it went south. And he says that as if it's a coincidence. But we all know the truth.
Oh my God.
I meant that in complete love. If Brett took that any other way, well, that's just on him.
Oh boy. Anyway, so if people want to know if you finally succeed in your mission, they can always reach out to you on Twitter. Your Twitter handle is just on top of your camera feed. So feel free to, yes, right there. Most of the time he answers a question. You can also find him on Twitch. This week particularly, he will be most of the time online. You got a tons of things coming up, right?
Yeah, three streams. We stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2 Eastern, 6 UTC PM. But then next Monday, and then Monday the 28th, we're doing a special Azure stream that I don't want to spoil what we're doing, but it is probably one of the most ambitious projects we've done on stream in a year and a half of streaming. So I'm really excited about Azure helping us out and making it possible for us to build this. And
where will that be?
That's on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/baldbeardedbuilder. Trust me, I do build things sometimes, and they run.
Well, it was a pleasure having you today, Michael. And thank you for all of you being there in the chat, very having fun playing with us today, trying things, building stuff, learning, because we all learned something. And I will, for tomorrow, I'll also be there. Tomorrow we'll be having fun trying to deploy A/B testing and a bunch of different things, a little bit more DevOps side tomorrow with my guest April, so it'll be super cool. And you can see Michael on his channel every day of the week.
Feels like it.
Yeah. He got Twitch channel straight pipe in his vein.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. I'm bleeding purple at this point.
Yeah, so I think it's normal. Well, everybody, bye-bye and see you next time. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Frank.